Hello dear students. Now we have already discussed lesson number 1 from the book Flamingo, the last lesson. Today we are going to discuss the question answers that are given in your textbook. Now I'll be reading the questions for you and then we shall discuss the answers. So here we go for the very first question in your text. That is, the people in this story suddenly realize how precious their language is to them. What shows you this and why does this happen? Now the answer to this question would be that when the order came from Berlin that henceforth the only German will be taught in schools, people realized that it was the last day to learn their mother tongue. And to show their affection for the language, many elderly people came to attend school, occupying the last benches which usually remained vacant. And Franz also regretted having not learned the participles when M. Hamel suddenly appraised them of the fact that they will become a laughing stock. And the language is their identity, the key to the present. The strongest evidence of how important is language comes from M. Hamel's mesmerizing last lesson. This shows people's love for their own culture, tradition, and country. And the pride in one's language reflects pride in the motherland. Now, the end part of this question is that why does this happen? This happens because when you possess something, when you do have something in your hand and it is in your possession, you don't realize the value and importance of that thing. But the moment you realize that this is going to be snatched away from you, you're going to lose it. Suddenly you realize the importance and how precious it is to you. So this is what happened with these French people when they realized that their language is to be taken away from them. They will not have the right to speak and learn their own mother tongue. Then they realized the importance and how precious it was for them. So this is how this happened. Now the second question given in your book is, Franz thinks, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? What could this mean? Now the Frenchman showed strong dislike and resentment against the order, and the imposition of German over French was quite humiliating, and it filled the people with great patriotic feelings. And while this going on, suddenly on the roof the pigeons cooed in a low tone, and Franz asked to himself whether they will make the pigeons sing in German also. So teaching the pigeons to sing in German indicates how far the Germans would go in their attempts of linguistic chauvinism. And being deprived of the learning of mother tongue would mean cutting off all bonds with the motherland. So this filled little Franz with the pain, the agony, the sadness that what is happening with them. It was like the something precious, their treasure would be snatched away from them. Moreover, pigeons are the free birds, and we humans have made the territories. We have divided ourselves into different territories, into different restrictions, and all these rules and regulations, restrictions are meant for we humans, not for the pigeons, not for the animals, because they have not discriminated themselves on different grounds. We humans have done so. So this is why it cannot be done with the pigeons. Now students, we shall move on to the next section, that is talking about the text. And the first question in this section is that when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. The subjugation of a country deprives people of their identity and freedom. One is subjected to restrictions in his or her own land. The worst part is when one has to abide by the restrictions of the oppressor. In these testing times, it is only our mother tongue that binds us together. It becomes a weapon against the tyrants who have forcibly moved into our country. Now, here in this chapter, as we have seen, the teacher M. Hemmel is perfectly right when he says that it is a key to their prison. Language is a catalyst that initiates and sustains the freedom movement. So he reminds his countrymen of the importance of language, and it is their identity, and only when they fight for it will the future generations remember that they have been enslaved. It is only then will they carry the torch of freedom further. Now there are many examples like India, Bangladesh and South Africa in history where the conquered people had their language taken away from them and another language had been imposed on them. Now the next question is, what happens to a linguistic minority in a state? How do you think they can keep their language alive? Well, the linguistic minority in any state is easily marked and faces the same discrimination as the religious, social, or ethnic minorities. There is, however, a pronounced difference in the treatment meted out and the level of acceptance displayed by the majority community in that region or city. Some cities like Delhi, Mumbai are cosmopolitan in outlook, but the sad point is that there is a discrimination in our society. So the linguistic minority tries to preserve its identity through an intimate contact, interaction and preservation of their language in social get-togethers, family functions and festivals of their own region. Adherence to social customs and traditions in family gatherings or group meetings of women also promote the unity between the members of the linguistic minorities. In short, they create a mini Punjab in Bangalore, mini Chennai in Mumbai, mini Bangalore in Delhi, and mini Surat in Kolkata. Now the last question is it possible to carry pride in one's language too far? Do you know what linguistic chauvinism means? Well, linguistic chauvinism means an aggressive and unreasonable belief that your own language is better than all others. And this shows an excessive or prejudiced support for one's own language. Sometimes pride in one's own language goes too far, and the linguistic enthusiasts can be easily identified by their extreme zeal for the preservation and spread of their own language. Now, in their enthusiasm, love and support for their own language, they tend to forget that other languages too have their own merits. Long history of art, culture and literature behind them. Instead of bringing unity and winning over others as friends, having excessive pride in one's own language creates ill will and disintegration. So dear students, with this we have come to an end with the discussion of question and answers of this chapter. I hope that you have been benefited with this discussion, and we shall meet soon with the next chapter of English. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.